Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into something that's become an essential part of basketball culture: the shoes. From street ball to the NBA, basketball shoes are more than just performance gear. They're a style statement, a cultural phenomenon, and for many, a symbol of status. But how did we get here? How did basketball shoes evolve from simple canvas sneakers to high-tech, multi-million-dollar industries? Well, that's exactly what we'll be exploring today. In this video, we're going to trace the fascinating history of basketball shoes. From the early days when Chuck Taylors ruled the courts, to the rise of the Nike, the revolutionary Air Jordans, and the cutting-edge technology we see today. We'll look at the innovations in shoe design, the impact of athlete endorsements, and how basketball shoes became iconic both on and off the court. So lace up your kicks, sit back, and let's jump into the story of how basketball shoes became a cornerstone of both the game and pop culture. To understand the history of basketball shoes, we have to go all the way back to the invention of the basketball itself. Basketball was invented in 1891 by Dr. James Naismith, but it wasn't until the early 20th century that companies began designing shoes specifically for the game. At the time, most athletic shoes were made of simple materials, like canvas and rubber. These early designs lacked the support and cushioning we associate with modern basketball shoes, but they were a start. In 1917, Converse introduced what would become one of the most famous basketball shoes in history: the Converse All-Star, also known as Chuck Taylors, named after Chuck Taylor, a basketball player who became a Converse salesman and helped improve the shoe's design. The All-Star quickly gained popularity. Chuck Taylors were the first mass-produced basketball shoes, and they dominated the sport for decades. Players from high school leagues to the professional level laced up these canvas sneakers. The shoe's simple design, featuring a high top silhouette for ankle support and a durable rubber sole for traction, became iconic. But Chuck Taylors weren't just a hit on the court. They became a cultural symbol. As basketball's popularity grew in the early 20th century, so did the reputation of the Converse All-Star. These shoes were affordable and accessible, making them popular among athletes and everyday people alike. By the 1950s, Chuck Taylors have become synonymous with basketball. The early basketball shoes, like the Converse All-Star, were simple. They were made from canvas, with a rubber sole design for indoor play. There were no advanced cushioning systems, air pockets, or reinforced ankle collars that we see in modern shoes. At this time, basketball shoes were built more for durability than performance enhancement. Despite their simplicity, these early shoes played a crucial role in shaping the game. They were lightweight, allowing for agility, and the high-top design offered more ankle support than other types of shoes available at that time. While Converse dominated the early decades, the world of basketball shoes was about to experience massive changes. In the 1950s and 1960s, other brands began to recognize the potential of basketball shoes. Adidas, already popular in Europe, entered the American basketball scene with shoes like the Adidas Superstar, which became one of the most influential sneakers of the 1970s. The Superstar featured a low-cut design, with a distinctive rubber toe cap that offered added durability and protection, quickly making it a favorite among players. Around the same time, Puma made its mark on basketball with the introduction of the Puma Clyde, named after NBA legend Walt Clyde Frazier. This shoe was among the first to bring a sense of style to basketball shoes, with its bold pseudo exterior and comfortable fit. Frazier's cool demeanor on and off the court helped turn the Clyde into a fashion statement. The 1950s through the 1970s also saw the rise of athlete endorsements, which would go on to becoming a defining feature of basketball shoes. For the first time, brands began to associate their shoes with specific players, hoping that star power could boost sales. Chuck Taylor was one of the earliest examples of this. But the real game changer came in the 1970s, with players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Walt Frazier. Abdul-Jabbar signed with Adidas, and Frazier's deal with Puma helped both brands gain visibility in the rapidly growing NBA. This was a turning point. Basketball shoes were no longer just about functionality. They were becoming fashion and status symbols. By the 1970s, basketball shoes were beginning to move beyond the court and into mainstream fashion. Shoes like the Adidas Superstar became part of the streetwear culture, especially in urban areas where basketball was deeply embedded in community life. African American athletes in the NBA helped popularize basketball shoes in both sports and street fashion. Shoes were no longer just a piece of athletic equipment. They were a reflection of personal style, identity, and culture. Brands like Adidas and Puma started using leather and synthetic materials to improve performance and durability, but also to create shoes that looked as good off the court as they performed on it. This period laid the groundwork for the sneaker culture explosion that would take place in the 1980s. If there's one moment that changed basketball shoes forever, it's the release of the first Air Jordan in 1985. Michael Jordan, then a young NBA rookie, signed a groundbreaking endorsement deal with Nike, and the result was a shoe that redefined not just basketball, but global sneaker culture. The original Air Jordan 1 was a game changer. Designed by Peter Moore, the shoe featured Nike's revolutionary air cushioning technology, which provided enhanced comfort and performance. But what really set it apart was its bold design, which included a mix of black, red, and white. Colors that stood out on the court and violated the NBA's uniform code, earning Jordan and Nike a $5,000 fine every time he wore them in a game. Far from discouraging people, this controversy only fueled interest in the Air Jordans. Kids across the country wanted to wear what Jordan wore. The shoes flew off the shelves and the sneakerhead culture was born. Owning a pair of Air Jordans wasn't just about basketball. It was being part of a cultural moment. Nike's success with the Air Jordan line wasn't just about marketing. It was also about technological innovation. The Air Jordan 1 introduced Nike Air technology, which featured air-filled pockets in the sole to cushion impact and provide better support for high-flying athletes like Jordan. As the Air Jordan line evolved through the 80s and 90s, Nike continued to push the boundaries of shoe design. In the Air Jordan 3, designer Tinker Hatfield introduced visible air units in the heel, allowing wearers to actually see the technology that was cushioning their feet. This not only improved performance but also became a major selling point for the shoe's aesthetics. Nike's designs in the 80s didn't stop at the Jordan line, though they also introduced the Nike Dunk, a shoe that became iconic in its own right, especially in college basketball. The Dunk was designed for versatility, with a flat sole for better grip and ankle support. It became popular not just on the court, but also in skateboarding circles, further blurring the line between sportswear and streetwear. The Air Jordan phenomenon was unlike anything basketball had ever seen. Michael Jordan's influence transcended the sport, turning basketball shoes into global fashion statements. Air Jordans weren't just for athletes. They were for anyone who wanted to tap into the swagger, confidence, and success that Jordan represented. By the late 80s, Air Jordans were a must-have item, with people lining up outside stores on release day to get the latest model. This craze gave the rise to the sneakerhead subculture, where collecting and trading sneakers became a hobby for enthusiasts around the world. The success of the Air Jordan line showed the industry that basketball shoes could be more than just athletic gear. They could be fashion statements, status symbols, and cultural icons. The 1990s saw the basketball shoe market explode with new players, both brands and athletes. Reebok was one of the major companies to challenge Nike's dominance. thanks in part to their endorsement of Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant players of the decade. Reebok's Shaq Attack line offered a combination of durability and comfort, catering to bigger players like Shaq. Reebok also innovated with its pump technology, a feature that allowed players to adjust the fit of their shoes by pumping air into the tongue. The Reebok Pump, popularized by players like Dee Brown, was a massive hit, offering a blend of technology and unique design. The 1990s were also the era when almost every major player had a signature shoe line. Nike expanded its rosters with players like Charles Barkley, Penny Hardaway, and Scottie Pippen, each with their own unique designs and technologies. Barkley's Air Max CB34, Hardaway's Air Penny, and Pippen's Air Pippen all became fan favorites. Other brands also followed suit. Fila, for example, partnered with Grant Hill to create one of the most popular basketball shoes of the mid-90s. And One, a brand synonymous with street basketball, released the Tai Chi, a shoe made famous by Vince Carter's legendary dunk contest performance in 2000. The 90s also saw the rise of streetball culture, thanks to brands like And One. Their mixtape tour and flashy marketing campaigns celebrated the raw, creative energy of street basketball. And One shoes like the Tai Chi became symbols of this subculture, designed for agility and flair rather than just raw performance. Street ballers like Rafer Skip to my Lou Alston helped And One sneakers gain popularity, and for a time, And One rivaled the bigger brands with their cool, edgy designs in association with the streetball scene. The 2000s ushered in a new wave of technological innovations in basketball shoes. Nike Shox, released in 2000, featured spring-like columns in the heel, designed to absorb impact and provide extra cushioning. Though the Shox technology wasn't as popular as Air, it represented Nike's commitment to pushing the limits of what basketball shoes could offer in terms of performance. Nike continued to dominate the market, introducing shoes with lighter materials, better cushioning systems, and designs tailored for specific types of players. For example, Kobe Bryant's signature line emphasized low-cut designs to give players more agility, challenging the long-held belief that basketball shoes had to be high tops for ankle support. In the mid-2000s, Adidas made a strong push in the basketball shoe market by signing rising stars like Derrick Rose. Rose's signature line with Adidas emphasized speed and agility, mirroring his playing style. Adidas also invested heavily in technology, introducing features like boost cushioning, which provided excellent energy return and comfort for players. Adidas also brought back retro styles from their earliest basketball shoes, including the return of the Adidas Superstar in lifestyle and streetwear markets. This was a nod to their heritage, and it resonated with both older fans and younger sneakerheads who appreciated the classic design. By the 2000s, LeBron James had emerged as one of the NBA's biggest stars, and his signature shoe line with Nike reflected his dominant presence. Starting with the Nike Air Zoom generation in 2003, LeBron shoes have consistently pushed the boundaries of innovation and design. Each new model features advanced cushioning, support, and stability to accommodate LeBron's unique combination of size, strength, and speed. The LeBron 7, released in 2009, was one of the most popular models, featuring Flywire technology for lightweight support and Max Air cushioning for comfort. The LeBron line became a staple not just for basketball performance, but also for sneaker collectors. The 2010s saw the emergence of Under Armour as a serious competitor in the basketball shoe market, largely thanks to their signing of Stephen Curry. Curry's signature shoe line helped Under Armour carve out a niche in the market, especially as Curry's playing style revolutionized the game with its emphasis on shooting and agility. Under Armour's Curry 1, released in 2015, became a bestseller, offering a lightweight, low-top design that emphasized quickness and flexibility. As Curry's popularity grew, so did the demand for his shoes. Under Armour's success with Curry helped solidify them as a major player in the basketball shoe industry. Nike continued to expand its roster of signature athletes in the 2010s, including Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Paul George. Each player brought something unique to the table, and their shoes were designed to reflect their playing styles. Kevin Durant's KD line focused on versatility and comfort, with lightweight materials and responsive cushioning. Kyrie Irving's Kyrie line emphasized quick cuts and control, with features like rounded soles for better traction during fast movements. Paul George's PG line offered a balance of comfort, performance, and style, making it a favorite among both players and casual wearers. Nike also pushed the boundaries of technology with innovations like Flyknit and React Phone, which offered even lighter, more responsive shoes that catered to the demands of modern basketball. As we move into the 2020s, basketball shoes are becoming more high-tech than ever before. Brands like Nike and Adidas are experimenting with smart shoes, which feature embedded sensors that track a player's movement, performance, and even impact levels. This technology offers new insights into how athletes move on the court, potentially allowing for more personalized training and injury prevention. In addition, 3D printing technology is being used to create custom shoe components, allowing for more precise fits and better performance. Nike's Adapt BB, released in 2019, is one of the first self-lacing basketball shoes, controlled by a smartphone app that allows wearers to adjust the fit on the fly. The future of basketball shoes is all about customization, technology, and pushing the limits of what athletes can achieve. From the humble beginnings of canvas sneakers to the high-tech marvels we see today, the history of basketball shoes is a fascinating journey through sport, culture, and innovation. What started with Converse All-Star has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar industry where shoes are not just performance gear, but cultural symbols and fashion statements. Basketball shoes have become a platform for expression, from the streets of New York to the courts of the NBA. They've crossed over into music, art, and fashion, influencing how we see the world and ourselves. Today, whether you're wearing Air Jordans, Kobe's, or Curry's, you're not just putting on a shoe, you're stepping into a legacy. As we look to the future, it's clear that the evolution of basketball shoes is far from over. With advancements in technology and design, we're entering an era where shoes are smarter, lighter, and more personalized than ever before. And who knows what the next big innovation will be. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of basketball. Let us know in the comments what your favorite basketball shoe of all time is, and we'll see you in the next video.